The golden hour is upon us, guys. It's the perfect time to be filming this. Hello everyone, it's Rose and welcome back to another video. Are you guys ready to get cozy with me? Today we are going to be creating a very comforting and cozy evening, and we're going to be doing this with the help of a little Danish concept called Hygge. I even have the little book of Hygge right here.
Hygge is a Danish word that can be defined as a quality of coziness that makes a person feel content and comfortable. Hygge can be defined in many different ways, but the concept is heavily ingrained into Danish culture, and according to the World Happiness Report, Denmark is considered one of the happiest countries in the world. So my assumption is that they're doing something right, so we might want to try to become more like them. Today, I am going to try and master the Danish art of getting cozy, and we're going to do it over here in Canada, and hopefully you can do it anywhere in the world. So let's get started.
Hygge has been translated as everything from the art of creating intimacy to the coziness of the soul to taking pleasure from the presence of soothing things. And my personal favorite is Cocoa by Candlelight. That's cute. So with the help of this little book, we are going to be creating a Hyggelig evening, and I'm very excited because I am going to go all out. In order to help me create this beautiful and cozy Hyggelig evening, I'm using the help of a lot of products from Thrive Market, who are very kindly sponsoring today's video. So let's have a little message from our sponsor.
Thrive Market is an online membership-based marketplace on a mission to make healthy living easy and affordable. When you become a member, you can get up to 25 to 50% off traditional retail prices for thousands of healthy and sustainable products. These include food, supplements, home and beauty products, and more. And of course, they have tons of vegan options for you guys. For every paid membership, Thrive Market sponsors a free one for a low-income family, and they're also dedicated to helping the environment by shipping from zero-waste warehouses. You can now choose between 3 different membership options. The best deal is a 12-month membership at $5 a month. This will give you also a $20 shopping credit. Check out the link down below to see the membership options and start shopping now.
Thank you so much to Thrive Market for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's talk about Hygge. So one of the really interesting things about this book is that it's written by a guy that works for the Happiness Research Institute. He literally studies what makes people happy, and he believes that Hygge is one of the reasons that makes Danish people very happy. Of course, there's a lot of different factors, like socioeconomic factors that play a huge role, but this is another one of those factors that create a lot of happiness and coziness for those beautiful Danish people. So what are some of the key elements to creating a Hyggelig evening? I think the most important thing, candles. It seems that creating a warm atmosphere with lots of candles is a very key and important element to Hygge. Now, interestingly, Danish people apparently don't like scented candles, so they use a lot of unscented candles. And according to the European Candle Association, interesting, Denmark burns more candles per head than anywhere in Europe. So candles are an essential element to creating a Hyggelig evening. Now, I bought a bunch of these tea light candles. Are they called tea light? Whatever these little tiny little candles are called. I took these little teacups, added a little bit of coffee beans in them, and created this cute little candle holder. So another thing that you can use to light a room in order to create the Hyggelig atmosphere is a lamp. So I got this beautiful lamp right here. This is a salt lamp that I got from Thrive Market, and I love this lighting so much. I think it really does create that really warm, Hyggelig sort of light. So even though I don't believe salt lamps are Danish, I mean, doesn't it just seem so Hygge? You know, just looking at it, it just seems so Hygge.
In Denmark, winters can be long and dark, and Danes have very little contact with the outside world, which is why I believe they've really mastered this art of creating a beautifully cozy home. candles or warm lamps can create a wonderful atmosphere to allow long winter months to feel pleasurable. As someone that lives in Canada who also deals with long, cold winters, I can very much appreciate this concept.
Another thing that would be super hygge is a fireplace. So sitting by a fireplace with your friends and family drinking like hot chocolate or something would be super hygge. But unfortunately, I live in a condo and there's no fireplace. So this be my fire. So now that we've got the lighting down, I think we need to really get into the mood. First thing I need to do, unfortunately, is tidy up.
So apparently Danes love socializing at home. Now, my guess is because it's too cold to go outside, or maybe it's too expensive. Let me know. Any Danish people in the audience, let me know what the answer is. Maybe it's a combination of many factors. But either way, because of this, they put a lot of effort into making their homes very hygge-lig. And I try to embody this concept. And for me, I feel like, and for a lot of people, I'm sure, creating a clean and relatively clutter-free environment will make people feel instantly more comfortable. Another thing I love using to create a more comfortable and peaceful environment is some sort of a peaceful scent. And I love the calming smell of essential oils because it really makes me feel like I'm at a spa, about to get a massage or something. So I use this reed diffuser that I got from Thrive Market, and it smells so good and so calming. It not only looks beautiful, it just makes the room smell like a spa. I love it so much.
Alright, so I just tidied up the space and I already feel so much better. And now I can move on to my favorite part, which is food. It really seems that the Danes are huge on the concept of having comfort food, and hygge is all about indulgence. So comfort foods, sweets, fattening foods, it's all about that stuff. I'm gonna link the recipes I'm trying out down below. These are not my recipes, but I wanted to try out these recipes because they sounded super hygge and super delicious.
Even though hygge seems to heavily emphasize meat and other animal products, I wanted to show you guys that you can achieve the same sort of comfort food using plant-based recipes. The dish I'm making is a creamy pasta with vegan Swedish meatballs. I'm following this recipe by the Connoisseur's Veg for these Swedish meatballs, but I switched a few things up, just a few things based on what I could find and what I had. So first, we want to preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I started by roughly chopping up some mushrooms and placing them in a food processor. We're going to chop up the mushrooms finely using the food processor, then place them into a large mixing bowl. Then we're going to place some roughly chopped onion, white kidney beans, minced garlic, vegan Worcestershire sauce. I can never say that word, Worcestershire. Am I saying it right? I don't know. This I got from Thrive Market, and I'm also using soy sauce or tamari. I got this tamari from Thrive Market as well. And then we're also going to add in some black pepper. Now you can process those ingredients and then make sure it's all mixed together. Then we're going to place them into the mixing bowl as well, along with the mushrooms. Now you can process all of these ingredients together, including the mushrooms, but my food processor was just not big enough, so I had to do it in separate steps. Next, I'm going to add in some breadcrumbs. I'm using this one that I got from Thrive Market. We're going to mix everything well until nicely combined. Now you can create little vegan meatballs out of this mixture and place them onto a large baking sheet. Bake them in the oven for around 30 minutes, turning once halfway through. And while those veggie balls are baking, you can make the sauce. Now, you guys should know at this point that there are so many different ways of making a delicious cream sauce plant-based. Once again, I followed this specific recipe, but I'll also link a different cream sauce recipe that only requires 4 ingredients to make. For this specific recipe, I created a roux by heating up some olive oil and whisking in some flour. Then I added some vegetable broth and a can of regular coconut milk. I'm using this coconut milk from Thrive Market as well. And then we're going to use more of that vegan Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce, and then just whisk. This wasn't in the recipe, but I wanted to add some mushrooms into the sauce, so I threw in some mushrooms. For the pasta, I decided to use rigatoni pasta because I felt like a thick and large pasta would go well with this dish, and I was right. Yes, it was delicious. I also threw in the veggie balls when they were done baking, and I added in some salt and pepper to taste, and voila, there's my Swedish meatball and cream pasta dish. The concept of hygge really seems to emphasize sweets and desserts, so I decided to make Swedish cinnamon rolls. I tried following this recipe by the Vagabond Baker, but as usual, I'm not very talented at baking. Something went wrong in the dough. I'm not really sure what happened. It was supposed to be nice and soft after the kneading process, but instead it was dry and kind of hard. So yeah, not sure, but I decided to try making the rolls anyway because hygge seems to emphasize that meals don't have to be fancy or perfect. And yeah, I decided to just roll with it. It was still tasty, not as perfect as I wanted, but still tasty.
Another thing that is super hygge, hot drinks. Hygge is all about having that warm, cozy feeling, and what gives you that warm, cozy feeling more than hot drinks? Hot cocoa, tea, coffee, and in my case, mulled wine. So, because we're talking about winter, we're talking about coziness, I feel like there is no other drink that reminds me of like a really cozy, wintry, holiday feel than mulled wine.
This mulled wine recipe was super simple, which is probably why I liked it, but honestly, it tasted really good as well. It just tasted like a classic mulled wine. I added some water into a big pot along with some sugar. Then we are going to add in an orange sliced into multiple pieces. Then let's add in some ground cloves and ground cinnamon. Bring this mixture to a boil. Then reduce the heat to a simmer for about 15 minutes. Then we can add a bottle of red wine and slowly reheat, but do not let it come to a boil because we want to keep that alcohol content. And then it's pretty much ready to go once it's nice and hot. You can serve them in nice mugs, and I promise guys, when you start making this, your whole house will smell so cozy and so wintry and delicious. When it comes to hygge, the concept of togetherness is heavily emphasized. One of the most universally agreed upon and proven indicators of overall life satisfaction and happiness is the quality of one's relationships.
So it could be with your partner, it could be with a friend, it could be with a few friends, it could be with your family members, or even a pet. It could be your dog or your cat. Just cozying up with someone you love and just spending a nice evening with them. And it's honestly one of my favorite ways to spend evenings. That's super hygge, and I feel like this is what makes hygge a little bit different from maybe other self-care activities, because it's not just about, pampering yourself, but it's about kind of having that really, intimate time with your loved ones or people that matter to you or animals that matter to you. So tonight I'm actually going to have my dinner with my roommate. Nice long dinner, maybe some good chatting. We're gonna drink some mulled wine. Yeah, super hygge.
According to the World Happiness Report commissioned by the UN, while basic living standards are essential for happiness, after that baseline has been met, happiness varies more with the quality of human relationships than income. Which brings me to my next point. Another thing I love about hygge is that it's really not about being materialistic, spending lots of money, being fancy, luxurious, or expensive. None of those things are considered hygge. Instead, Hygge is about being humble and slow, simple and modest. For instance, it's more Hygge to stay in and cook a nice, homey, comfortable, and comforting meal rather than going out for a fancy dinner. So this is a great excuse to spend less money and still socialize. So invite some of your favorite people over and just have a nice cheap night in, all in the name of Hygge.
I feel like we can't forget the concept of self-pampering and self-care when it comes to having a really comforting time. So tonight I am going to take a nice bath and, use these little bath bombs. And I'm also going to be just pampering myself a little bit and just enjoy this moment. Hygge is all about enjoying those little small pleasures in life. What better than a nice warm bath to kind of finish off the evening? I just came out of the bath and I'm about to do this face mask right here, which again I got from Thrive Market. And I think I'm gonna do this mask and maybe watch a little TV show with my roommate. Alright guys, so that is my Hygge evening. What did you guys think? Was it Hygge enough for you? I hope this video inspired you to have your own Hygge evening and look for the little things that give you that feeling of Hygge. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, of course, don't forget to subscribe. And thank you so much to Thrive Market once again for sponsoring today's video. If you guys want to check them out, link is down below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!